Awesome.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We're not ready yet. All right, let's get it. Make noise! Peeking.
Wildly Uninteresting
Is my
podcast.
shit back
Sorry.
up? I can't hear
Welcome
myself.
to Wildly Uninteresting podcast, episode 62.
Fuck working it out. Adam's ready. I thought we
With-
already did 62.
Nope,
Oh.
61.
Shows
This
what I
one
know.
is 62
Yeah,
with
this is 62.
Shelby Cornett as our guest. Thank you for coming on the show, Shelby.
Clearly proud
We
of your last
appreciate it.
name. Change it to Hitler. Be Shelby Hitler.
Hitler. It's funny. I was reading about the Holocaust.
Hitler, Hitler. I
today.
think you had to be like a cage fighter.
Oh my god, I would get my ass kicked.
That sounds terrible.
I feel like everybody's rage would just come out at that moment.
It
That's true.
just happens all the time. I just want to kick your ass already.
Oh.
It's not
Come
even
on
official.
now.
Anyway, hey,
So yeah,
Yeah.
welcome to the show.
how's everybody
Hey, hi.
I gotta keep dunking down.
Hello.
doing?
Duncan.
So-
down.
Tell us about yourself. Give an introduction. What
Tell
do you
us
do? What are you
everything.
about?
I'm a human.
What makes you better than
Welcome.
everyone?
Nothing.
Oh.
Nothing
So
at all.
that
Well, you're
right.
humble, so I
Yeah.
mean that's a start.
Yep. Big fan of that.
No, man. So, we heard that you like the riots going on. I mean, not the riots, the
The
protests.
protest.
There's a substantial difference.
Actually,
From the beginning, I was so against the riot because, like, initially I'm like, you're stealing things, but now I'm like, dude, right. Everybody riot and everybody protest. Do what you do, because if you're that mad to do something like that big and that
Yeah.
demanding, do it.
Oh yeah, burn it down.
Do it. Burn it. I think everybody should join in and just fuck the system.
Who is that chick? Brianna something or other?
Taylor,
Breonna
dude.
Taylor.
Yeah.
Jesus
I
Christ.
saw that the people that killed her hadn't even been arrested.
No.
No punishment.
I just don't understand that.
But her boyfriend guy, they dropped the charges there. So that was
Oh,
cool.
nice.
That made
Oh,
me
well,
happy.
that really fucking helps the situation.
It
It
does.
does.
It doesn't.
What,
It does.
imagine they keep the charges.
I mean, it
How does
definitely
it-
sucks that he was gonna get charged because people busted into his house not dressed like police. They didn't announce who they were, and they
And they
know.
killed his
Well,
broad.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't have the charges dropped. He definitely should. But it doesn't fucking help anything.
Yeah.
She's still dead, and the people who killed her still aren't charged.
Well, I'm thinking like societally. Because,
Yeah.
there's a sense of justice there. And without that,
Is that the problem?
that little
There it is.
nugget
Thank you.
of justice, then
Yeah.
it's like, it's going to erupt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes
Thank
me
you. I
want to
was
stab
wondering. I was like, I
people.
can't fucking hear myself at all.
It was sideways.
Okay.
What is with you, man? You didn't set this up for shit.
Dude.
today.
You don't even
Uh,
care about me.
It was like
you
a
don't.
rushed moment. I think I was like, I'm gonna go for
No,
a
it
drive.
wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
He's lying to you.
I'm lying.
I forgot we were casting today.
So I
Sometimes
sound-
you screw up, but
Do I sound nasally? I feel like I sound really nasally.
I think you sound cute.
Thank
yeah.
you. My rage is gone.
No, but they do have like this. They had posted a thing. A bunch of people posted that they give all the numbers to all the departments, Louisville Metro, and like it tells you what to say to each number,
Yeah.
so that the officers will be
So you
locked
can
up
get to
and
the
then
prize at the end.
his charges will be dropped. But I don't know how that's going. I'm sure that line is like overflowing those because people
So,
are pissed off.
Anonymous released like a list of people that are in the KKK. I thought that was pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Interesting.
Don't be pissing off Anonymous. I love those bastards.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
It
I
seems
want-
like they've been so quiet for so long, and then
Yeah.
they're like, hey,
Here
Hey,
we are.
shit's fucked up. We're back.
yeah.
I like that about them.
Do the KKK like keep books like of members? I mean,
Oh,
have
yeah.
it- yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they keep a
like the
list of,
union?
yeah, I guarantee it.
Well,
yeah.
we gotta know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
In
because
case we
then
lose someone.
I think too, like if they use like drugs or something, I don't know. Maybe that's skinheads.
Wait, what?
I don't know. But like if they use meth or they disgrace the group, like they have to be able to out them from the group. So they have to know who's in the group to know who to out.
Kill all these
when they-
black people, but don't smoke crack, buddy.
Yeah, I
It's
think
got
they're.
fucking morals
That's
in
not
this
our.
place.
Yeah.
I think they're totally against doing meth. If
I
that's
could
the
see
thing.
that.
I guess that is a good stance to take.
But if you really hate
That's a thing.
some white
Who
dude,
would be against mad?
some white
Shelby,
dude,
how do you feel about math?
Does Adderall count?
Oh, kind of.
I'll put that off to the side.
At least it's
No.
stable. You know what
Okay,
the fuck
because
you're
I mean,
getting.
I take Adderall.
It's like good math. Yeah.
Well, it depends though if you take Adderall for an actual purpose.
I mean, it's prescribed to me.
You should
Oh,
rap
yeah.
Depends
Yeah.
though
It's
and
not as
benzos
good.
in a song.
Depends and
Yeah.
benzos.
Depends though and benzos.
Depends though.
Beach ass depends though. What do benzos do? You know. And
Yeah.
You
I'm
got
not a
it.
rapper.
I don't have to do
Yeah.
it. You just did it.
Yeah. Done.
It's
Committed.
recorded.
Stamped.
No, man.
Send it. Sorry. What were you saying?
No, man.
No, man.
No. Look at
Sorry.
this.
No,
So check it
man.
out.
Don't, man.
I don't actually know what I was talking about, but the KKK.
Took my baby away.
Oh, this white dude put out a video. This white dude put out a video expressing how like America was built on us being the superior race, white people, right?
Right.
And he had like dates for everything. Like he had it all. I mean, he had like
Put too much energy into
I swear,
that
dude.
shit.
He had it.
Some racist bullshit.
Yeah, if he no, if he was
1622
lying
white
about it,
victory number 1.
I swear to God, if he was lying about it, like he made it sound convincing because he was like 1865 and we come over on boats and stuff like that. And they, like the Catholic Church gave them permission to enslave black people from Africa to build the country for
I mean,
free.
the Catholic
Yeah.
Church also touches kids, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit they do that's wrong.
Hell yeah.
We talked about
That's
it before.
nuts.
They rewrote a section in their book that says that even if they find life on other planets, that it does not discredit what has already been said through the Catholic Church. So it doesn't discredit God and what the Bible
I don't think it
says.
necessarily has to.
They just
Yes, it does.
Space Catholics.
those lesser known space
Scientologists.
Catholics.
They're cool. What do you think about Space Catholics?
You know, I've never met one.
Nope.
Do you take a stance on the whole like looting, rioting, protests? Do you think it matters more if they protest or they riot?
So, I think that. All right, so it's gonna be kind of long-winded. I'm sorry,
It's okay.
but
That's cool. We
Put
talk
some-
all the time.
Put some
Go at
wind
it.
behind it.
so I think that if you go out and you just start trashing stuff and being like, you need to hear me right now, and you know, fuck this, and this is mine because you know I deserve it or whatever.
Right.
It doesn't really make a lot of sense, and you're not going to be heard because you're going to be seen as just like a troublemaker. But I do feel like that when peaceful protesting gets met with violence, you're going to piss people off, and you're not going to make any headway if you constantly keep having peaceful protests and you just like, all right, so like if I was trying to tell Ian, like, you know, I don't think you deserve to eat spaghetti, and he's like, well, I don't know, man, I'm
Bitch.
kind of hungry, like I want to eat some spaghetti, and he's like, you know, can I please have some spaghetti? And I punch him in the face,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
he continues to sit
He's
there
like,
and be
point
like,
taken.
please, can I have some spaghetti? And I just keep punching him in the face.
Well, I'm gonna go eat some nuggets.
If he punches me back, he's probably gonna get some spaghetti.
Hell
Like-
yes. Yeah.
That's
I like that.
True.
so.
Yeah. I like the spaghetti analogy.
So I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand. I do feel like people took advantage of the situation. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But also being there when 4th Street was looted, they had the riot police showed up when we were kind of sitting down and doing like a moment of silence. And they proceeded to kind of sandwich us. So they were on one side of the street, lined up, and then they were on the other side of the street, lined up. And so they were like, all right, everybody get up, you know, we're going to meet them. We're going to be face to face. And so we did that. And, you know, we had people like going and talking and yelling and being like, you know, just say your name. Like, you know, and they stood there. And there were a few of them that you could tell were like itching. They were just waiting. And
Fuck something up.
then we noticed that we were kind of getting shoved in the back, and you turn around and the cops behind us are shoving people. So they're sandwiching us really, really close together. And I have it all recorded on live. And so I lifted my camera up because I'm kind of short. And you can see they start throwing tear gas into the middle of the crowd, and it's just kind of making like a giant fog over the top, and you know, everybody starts moving out of the sandwich to get away from it, because tear gas burns.
Get out of the fog sandwich.
I'm sorry, my analogies suck. But
That's cool. I like it.
so
they're great.
It's colorful.
Yeah.
So we move out of there, and they proceed to throw concussion grenades, which are really loud.
Yeah.
They're disorienting, and so even more people are just scattering everywhere. And this is a way to separate the crowd. So we had some people like go, you know, that way. We had some people go this way. And as people are running, it's almost like herding, I guess. So they took their pepper bullet guns and started shooting at people to kind of separate, because they had riot police on different streets. And so where I was at, there were about, I want to say 60 riot police, and they were along 4th Street, and another section that had like this parking lot right here, and they were lined up right here to block that entrance too. And so it was on 4th Street and Liberty. Well, like maybe 50 feet down, like down 4th is 4th Street Live. And there were only about, I want to say 20 to 15 protesters where I was, that ended up like at towards the middle of the night. And you walk down to 4th Street, and that's when looting started happening, is when they started to be violent.
Yeah.
And they had an EMT there, which definitely probably called the cops, like, hey, this is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They proceeded to, there were some people like trying to call the cops and tell them like, hey, they're destroying 4th Street, because instead of standing with 60 people over here, why don't some of you come down here and help?
Yeah.
Like, because that would make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't. Instead, anybody who got close, because, there was even a dumpster fire. And, like,
Wow.
I even tried walking up to him being like, hey, guys, you need to call the fire department, because, this is pretty big, and it's right next to a building.
Yeah.
And instead, they blinded me and proceeded to shoot.
What the
And I was like, I know you guys can hear me. There's no one yelling. It's just me here. Like, and
You got your priorities fucked up.
and I don't think I'm that intimidating. So, but it was like, okay, whatever. And then I actually talked to there's a guy across the street from me. I'm going to keep his name anonymous. But he is actually National Guard. And he told me that he was like, it doesn't really make sense of what they're doing, because they had New Albany police on call for looting, and they never called them.
So they just wanted to fuck people up.
Well,
Basically.
what I think, well, yes, that, but the New Albany police were just for looters. They were supposed to be on call for looters.
Yeah.
But they didn't call them, and we seem to think that it's because they wanted to divide people. They wanted people to be pissed off about the rioting, be like, well, I understand a black man died. I understand a black woman died, but I can't go to 4th Street Live now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't go to a shitty club.
Yeah, no shit.
And, they were looting down there for hours.
Yeah.
So there was, and,
That's crazy.
And instead, they wanted to sit there and shoot and tear gas and do fucking concussion grenades
Yeah.
at people who weren't fighting back.
I just don't get it.
Like,
They're cocksuckers.
they
Yeah.
shot up this girl who was just hiding behind a sign, like, because people made like shields out of like styrofoam,
Yeah.
and she just stood there, and she was alone, and they just lit her up.
Yeah, they don't.
Wow.
You don't really have to have a reason for those cops to do that, because this is their opportunity. You know how often they get to shoot concussion grenades? You know what I mean? Often there's riots, not often. So they are all jacked to do it. But I feel like...
But they weren't even dealing with the riots. The
Right.
riots, which I feel like riots is destroying things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
They weren't dealing with that. They were like, I'm going to shoot at these mice that aren't going to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Oh, that's
fuck
kinda
with the
weak.
peaceful people.
Yeah, that's kind of weak.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But I feel like the rioting or the looting was like when you cage something for so long, right? You cage it, and probably talking about anger or suppressing or oppressing black people and stuff like. You cage it for so long. When you finally let that out, like your initial thought is fuck everything up that you can, take everything you can, because we're
I don't know
they've
what's
taken
going to
from
happen
us.
next.
And I'm taking everything. Take TVs, all that. But then it starts to slow down, and they're like, we kind of have to have a purpose to this, right? It's like just shooting blindly at something, and then being like, well, what's the purpose behind the looting, right? When then they join the protesters and like, we kind of, because you're always going to have those people that are going to riot. Like you're going to have those
There's
people.
always someone who
Yeah.
fucks it up.
This is their time to do it. I'm kind of okay with it because it goes to show you, like, if you hold a group of people down for so long, eventually they will fight back, because apparently they're not too good at their, you know what I mean? Like you hold them down enough, they're going to fight back. And I think the entire country is capable of that. And I'm okay with that. Like, that's cool. Take back the system, because you're not the only one that is oppressed. You're the most oppressed person. But I don't think you're the only one. I think we're all oppressed in a certain sense.
Well,
You know what
I mean, think about it. Like, yeah, I mean, it sucks that things get violent. I mean, it does. Like, violence it's intimidating, it's scary, but at the same time, like, the cop who killed George Floyd,
Yeah.
he got charged with murder.
Yeah. And his wife divorced him.
You know,
well,
but
I have some speculation.
Really?
on that
No,
one.
don't speculate.
did you see
That
all
bitch
the
left his ass.
But then that wasn't enough, and so violence continued, and they're like, okay, all right, we'll make it second-degree murder, which just fits the crime.
Yeah.
People shooting for first degree don't know what they're talking about, because first degree
Yeah.
means that you have to plan it.
yeah,
Yeah.
intent?
But then,
I
it's
didn't
like,
know the
well,
difference.
that's not
I'm
good
not a
enough.
criminal.
Yeah, he killed
Yeah.
him, but 3 people watched him.
Yeah.
3 officers watched him, and so,
Kinda
more
helped.
violence, more protests.
Yeah, and one of them
Got
was a
them
fucking
charged.
Asian.
Well, one of them, I think, was mixed as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
man.
was.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out the
Did
Asian
you
guy.
you see where Wave 3 put out a story? They were like, George Floyd tested positive for COVID-19 on
Oh,
his
yeah.
autopsy.
Yeah.
And all these people are
That's
writing
why he
like
couldn't
breakup
breathe.
letters with
Yeah.
Wave 3, like, fuck you all for even reporting that. Like,
It's
what does
not
that matter?
the knee on the windpipe. It's the COVID.
Yeah, and I think, like, okay, the initial thing is like, stop killing black people for no reason, right? Stop pointing them out. Like,
Yeah.
stop doing that, right? Profiling. But I think even bigger is like to change the system up to where it doesn't oppress that person as much as it does, so it doesn't have to get to this point. Because if they charge those people, good, cool, that's okay, but don't give up now. Like, you have to change the system, or 60 years from now, we're going to be in the same exact position you are right now,
Yeah.
writing about the same exact thing, because the system hasn't, the
Well, I
police
think-
haven't changed.
Yeah, and I think that's what this protest is about, is
Yeah.
holding your officers accountable
Right.
for senseless violence, senseless killing. I mean, there's the argument that police kill, white people, like, unjustly too, but like
Right.
at the same time, like, all right, the 2 dudes and one of them was a ex-cop who killed the guy that I feel really bad that I don't remember his name, but the guy who was jogging.
Yeah.
The black man that was jogging, and it took them months.
Yeah.
Months, and
That
you-
was an Aubrey. Aubrey?
Oh,
no,
it-
that was the 3 hillbillies that killed him.
Oh yeah,
he
that
was
is
jogging
what that
in a
was. I was
neighborhood.
gonna say I have
behind
his
him.
name. I might. actually
Hillbillies
have
don't
his
live in
name, too.
neighborhoods. Hillbillies live in the hills.
They're not
Whatever.
called neighborhood billies.
Redneck.
Neighbor Billies.
But continue, my fault.
no, you're fine. But like, it's holding cops accountable and holding people accountable for making arrests. Like, just because it's a black person that died or a person of color that died, like, doesn't mean that you get to brush it off as just another thug died. Like,
Right.
look into it. Do your fucking job.
Yeah,
I saw
please.
the argument
Like-
made where it's like people are all like, oh, more white people are killed unjustly than black people. And then it's like, but why is that okay?
Right,
Why is it
exactly.
a competition? It's like, oh, they're killing more of us than you,
Yeah.
so shut the fuck
So
up.
how many people
Because-
have
Maybe
they
stop
killed?
killing people.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's like yes, they kill
Bootsy.
more of us on paper statistically,
But there's
but there's
more
more
of
of
us.
us.
Yeah.
So of course there's going to be
It
more
evens
murders,
out.
But if you put it down, you know what I mean, in a percentage,
Yeah.
more black people, you know what I mean?
People are eating more fries than onion rings. There are more fries than onion rings,
Yes.
bitch. Shut up.
The numbers are higher,
Yes.
but it works out to pretty much the same.
Well, I think too.
Cops just need to be held accountable.
This is an opportunity for new training techniques for officers.
Hell yeah.
I'm not saying in any way that this is acceptable or that this is why any unjust shootings have occurred, but if you throw someone out into the streets and say handle business, and they're not, you know, that type of person who deals well with confrontation, whether they have training or not, they don't know how they're going to react in a situation.
Well, you
And then-
also have them take. So when someone's going to be, I feel like I keep interrupting you guys. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
No,
okay.
no, we
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, that's
we
good.
do. We like
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
Just say, shut the fuck up, and then just go.
God, no. But they take a personality test
Yeah.
before they're able to even be accepted into being a police officer.
If they have
so
any, they're kicked out.
Any personality,
Yeah.
they're out. Yeah.
if you're too like meek or like I think introverted, like you won't be able to go.
Yeah, I can see that. It's a good thing because, well, we were talking about it, and I was talking like it seems to me based on we've been watching a lot of live PD, and we would have continued, but Prime decided it's unavailable. We watched it yesterday till like 2:00 in the morning, and now it's not available. But there seems to be a certain personality of, you know, person who becomes a cop, and they
Tyrant cocksucker.
well, they seem kind of like adrenaline junkies to me. Like that's
Little bit, yeah.
they're
Yeah.
excited to be involved in questionable situations, which is
Some of them
good.
too, though.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are those people in high school that
or assholes.
Well, not only
They
that,
get
but
picked
the
on.
people the people that got picked on, the people that were left behind, the people that were uncool, so to speak. A lot of them become it. In my time in prison, I've realized there's a whole range of types of cops
Yeah.
and types of people who get into it. And then there's some people like that guy I used to work out with that was like, I quit because there was so much injustice in the system that he was like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Like he was like, I couldn't
Make you feel
go home and
bad.
feel okay about myself.
Absolutely.
And you know, people are like, you know, oh well, good cops, they need to speak up, and it's like they do, yes, but at the same time, like if you have so many bad and corrupt cops, and then there's your supervisor is also one of them, like what are you
Yeah.
supposed
yeah,
to do?
what do you do?
Yeah.
Because you know, and you see
You
it in
tie
movies,
him up
but
and
it's
wait for Batman to show up.
No, you're right though. They back each other.
and
You
it's
have
like,
to.
man, it you know, I'm sure that they get threatened. It's like, man, you know, it would suck if you got shot in the back of the head. You know, I couldn't see.
Exactly. And that's how it would happen. It's dude, it's just as corrupt as it is on movies. Like
Yeah.
they say, I didn't
It's
know
legit.
that until like I got deep into the system and realized how corrupt that system is. And how the cops, they don't tell, or that, you know, when they take somebody out forcefully or some shit, and the stuff they do, they don't report everything. They sell drugs to the inmates. Like they put it into the system.
That's a good service.
just to
though.
hold them
Or
down.
take money from inmates to allow another inmate
Yes.
to beat the crap out of them or rape.
Yeah.
And then my time in Indiana, they would, which I totally agree with in a sense, but like child molesters, rapists, all that, they would put them in the cell and then tell the people in the cell that would handle the whatever, taking care of that person, they would openly tell them, like, that guy's a rapist. And we put him in here, even though he's supposed to be an ad sec.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's such
Lunch
a weird...
is here, boys.
Yeah. But put yourself in that situation, like, would you speak up? Like I don't speak up. Like everybody pissed off about taxes and everything else, and the fact that they take and give nothing back. But who says anything? You're not going to say anything because look what they're doing to the people who are rising up. There's
Who are
that
peacefully
millions of
standing
people.
on a street
Yeah,
for a
and-
purpose.
And it's
a
ran
problem.
by the government and the police are holding them down forcefully.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Because if you're peaceful protesting and getting shot with a pepper ball, it's like,
It's ridiculous.
come on, people.
There's so much shit that's just fucked.
It
I
is.
mean,
Oh, sorry.
no, it's okay.
How
I
did it
was
feel
just
to get shot by a pepper bullet? Did you get one?
I did.
Did you?
I got shot in the arm,
Nice.
and my entire arm went numb.
really.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it hurt. It's almost like I don't know, like getting hit with a paintball, but like the paintball like skin is like way thicker than
Yeah.
and so it doesn't pop And so, because it's so thick, and you're just like, oh god.
Yeah.
And technically, they're supposed to shoot it at the ground so that it sprays up onto you. But a lot of times they'll shoot you with it, it breaks skin, and then it burns the shit out of you.
Hell yeah. I don't know. Everything about it is just fucked. So even if, let's say, changes do come, and say officers get different training, and things improve in that way, if the whole system is fucked.
Well, in Minneapolis, they barred the chokehold. Like, cops, you guys can't choke anybody anymore.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well,
Good.
like it's gonna suck because like there's always going to be corrupt cops. There's always going to be bad cops. I think the thing that needs to be changed, because those are unrealistic goals to get them all out, because it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
Is only hire black dudes to be cops.
There are still bad black cops too.
Yeah, but then if black cops are killing black dudes, and it's not like, oh, why is Whitey killing them? Then it's like, we're killing
then
ourselves.
It's okay.
Yeah.
No, man. I still think, though, that they get irate about that. Like, on that show, like, there was a ton of black people that were like, you're doing this because I'm black. And the cop was like, I'm black. What are you talking about?
He said, do you see the color of my skin?
It's like on Arrested Development whenever White Power Bill stabs Job. It's like, white power. He's like, I'm white.
Yes, it's exactly right.
It's weird, right? So this protest has been lasting since last Thursday, at least here in Louisville, and Sunday is when it kind of stopped being as violent.
Yeah.
With them like shooting at us and stuff like that, because of David McEntee. I think I got his name right. He died Sunday.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Who the hell's
I think
he?
that is his name.
He was a famous
sounds
barbecue
familiar.
guy downtown.
Oh, yeah, the guy, the Yah Man or some shit.
Yeah. So,
and there was no reason for it. He wasn't even doing it. He was like walking to the store or something.
No, he
word
was
on the
at,
street is he busted off shots.
You're just speculating.
no, there's
He's
all anybody
making.
knows.
Oh, you actually heard that.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were just making shit up.
no, there's a
all got
video
guns.
of like four different videos, and they pieced them together to where they were kind of like in a time lapse.
Oh yeah.
And so what looks like happened is he was at his store and grilling out, and a bunch of the protesters came, and I think one was his niece, and they were getting shot at with pepper bullets. And so they rushed into his shop, and you can see where they're shooting at inside his shop with pepper bullets, and you see them hit the door and stuff. And one of them nearly misses his niece, and so he does have a gun. He pulls it out, and it looks, because it doesn't show that he shot at them, but shot up.
Yeah.
And so I think he either did one or two, I don't really remember, but it was one or two. And so immediately, I think four different police just were like, all right, well, I guess we're doing this.
Yeah.
And
This is what I needed.
proceeded to load in
Yeah.
on him. And
You know, I didn't know that was that video. I seen that on Instagram, and I didn't know that was in Louisville. But I seen them where they all come rushing into that thing. But I thought they actually shot bullets at that door, but I guess it was pepper bullets. Damn, dude. I didn't know that's what that was.
Well, and there's
It doesn't justify it, but let's acknowledge that I was right.
I did see them shoot back, but I thought they shot like bullets into the door for no reason.
well, and they need to stop just unloading the fucking clip.
Oh, I know.
Like when there are 4 or 5 or even one cop, you don't need to unload the whole clip. Not every single one of you. Do you know how many fucking bullets that is?
Especially when you're decked out in riot
Well,
gear.
also, like,
come
there's
on,
such a
shoot.
pussy.
If you're gonna shoot someone, do it once, like in the leg or the arm.
well, there's a protocol to that. You're supposed to announce who you are, like what you're doing. Like, he didn't shoot at them; he shot up.
Yeah.
So, like, there was no protocol being done at all, especially even with the pepper bullets. So, like, everyone's rights was being infringed upon, and so they took it as and so I think the reason why the police have had to back off was because Andy Brashear was like, all right, well, we're just gonna wait for the cam footage, and there was none.
That's fucked
Of
up.
course
Like
there
not a
was
single
none.
cop
Yeah.
had their body cam on.
Yeah.
And so
Well, right there, they should all be fired. Done.
well, I mean, they should
Or at least dragged out in the street and shot.
well, they should be
No
charged.
shit.
They should be charged with destroying evidence.
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Tampering with physical evidence. For sure.
Obstruction of
It's a felony.
justice.
Are any lawyers getting involved with any of this shit?
You know they
Yeah.
are.
My,
What are you talking
Those
about?
shiesty
They're like,
fuckers.
there's so much money right here.
well,
can
so
smell it.
a lot of them are covering for people pro bono.
That's
Beautiful.
awesome.
So, like, my brother got arrested Sunday for unlawful gathering and after curfew. But the thing is that they shot it. So curfew's at 9, and they shot at people at 8, and proceeded.
It's
and
9 somewhere.
well, the thing is that I was past curfew because they separated us from our cars and chased us down the street.
Yeah.
So, like, they were like,
So you couldn't leave, essentially.
no, not at all. And because they were like, all right, so you guys have about 10 minutes because we're going to arrest you guys for unlawful gathering. And everybody lost their shit. And they're like, excuse you? Like, no, you're not. They were like, that's illegal.
Yeah.
Like, it's not curfew yet. We have an
Unlawful gathering?
Arrest
Yeah.
these nuts, bitch.
It's a thing. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Everything's a thing.
And so they proceeded to get ready to throw tear gas. And everybody was like, back up, back up. And there were kids there. And, because it wasn't curfew.
Yeah.
Right.
And so people with leaf blowers came out to blow the tear gas back at the cops. They're like, nah, and they stood in front of the families as the families were like going to leave. But then they proceeded to throw concussion grenades, their favorite thing,
Yeah.
and tear gas.
Still, like, it makes loud sounds. We love it. Yeah, dude, seriously.
And pushed us down the street. So we ran back down there, and we were still like getting hit, and we were like, "What the hell?" And we look up, and cops are actually on the roof of these buildings throwing
Shut
shit down.
up.
I have it on camera.
That's wild.
Documented, son.
But they won't take care. I think that education
Just-
is a big thing here. Like educating those cops against the whole system and educating every person in that crowd would be a good thing. Of like
Yeah.
what
I've
your
heard-
rights really are, and the cops what you can actually do to
I've
them.
heard from a few people that like there are like limits to what your IQ can be and still be a cop. Like if it's so high, they won't let you be a cop. Is that true?
Well,
I
we have
have
the power
heard
of
that
Google.
as well.
Google is-
actually, yeah.
This shit.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing the answer to that because I've heard
Well,
that too.
they said too, as the crime rises in those neighborhoods, it forces them because there's not enough people to hire to be cops. So it forces them to hire people that aren't really, they shouldn't
They
be on the
shouldn't be
force.
cops.
So they hire these people for a minimum cost, put them on the streets, and then sure enough, you have unlawful deaths
Yeah.
because they don't know what they're doing. Like they
Well-
have no formal training, no military background, no nothing. They're
Nothing.
Fuck it. There's
Street
7
people.
billion of them. Who cares if
It's-
you
Yeah.
die?
It's just so ridiculous
Huh.
to me because
Yeah, you can get
Yeah.
you cannot get you can
What?
get declined if you're too smart.
I wonder
I feel
why.
like that's garbage men should like have that, but not cops. Like I want a really smart cop. Hell, I'll take a really smart trash man
yeah,
as well.
for sure.
What
I
the
don't
Get out of the
see-
way faster.
I don't see
Oh,
how
you're
being too smart
overqualified.
should prevent you from being able to do
Well,
anything.
because you'd question shit too much.
Ooh,
They're like, oh, you can't
yeah.
be. Ooh, if I do this, and that's
we
just
can't
wrong.
pull the veil
Yeah.
over there.
Don't
right?
be
Yeah.
questioning shit, smart guy. Get out there, dumbass.
Yeah, we can't. I can see that. I'm
Plus,
good
stupid
with it. 'cause I
people
love
tend to be more
conspiracy.
aggressive.
Yeah.
So.
And the whole thing, this whole situation just pisses me off because
There's a lot of emotion behind all of it.
Yeah, I really
everybody.
respect police officers. Like they do shit that is necessary. They need to be there. They serve a purpose, and good cops are very positive to the community.
Yeah, good cops are cool.
You know,
Absolutely.
You know, we
Bad cops are cocksuckers.
we grew up right there in Shawnee, where like 43rd Main, all that stuff sets down there, and I realized that that's part of the ghetto, right? Mom and Dad moved us out when we were like 12 or 13, right? And then we go back every year for Portland Festival, right?
That's right.
And then I see people that I went to school with in elementary school because they moved out, and I finally get to go to middle school out here, right? In the good schools, if you will. And I go and I see the people that I grew up with, black, white, doesn't matter, and the intelligence level, the way they dress, the way they act, the way they talk is so much different. I didn't realize what my parents were doing for me, moving me out to go to the better school.
I mean, they did something good.
Yeah, hell yeah. Thank you.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, that's a visualization as to what the system's like in that area of town, because I was raised there and moved out before it was too detrimental to who I was, I guess.
Yeah.
Which I still ended up being kind of a shithead, but, you know, not as much. And I had better outlets to go to get away from that bad side of me, I guess. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
I had more opportunity, I guess.
Yeah.
But they didn't, clearly, because, I mean, all of them either sell drugs or dope fiends.
Well, think about it. Like, I mean, that goes into even a bigger problem with like the government is like, like West End areas aren't funded.
At all.
They don't care because they don't want those. They want, and it's mostly black communities.
Yeah.
And they want them to be pushed down, and it's not fair.
No.
Like it's and it sucks because like you even have Republicans who defund schools because they want people to be
Exactly.
unintelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I watched a video of that explaining systematic racism, and that like each county that you go to, like Jefferson, whatever, each place funds their own schools, right, through taxes. So the good community that make a lot of money, that have higher property costs, all that, they fund their school 100%. Like they're well taken care of. The classes are great and all that, but those underprivileged places, they don't have the money. They're all a lot of them are living off welfare and all that. Like the system is meant to hold that down.
So it's like Darwinism, but with someone to blame.
Yeah,
Well,
they don't. It's not like a pot that they put the money in for the state. Like each county has their own pot, and then they distribute it where they feel deserves it, I
necessary,
guess.
yeah.
And they screw them over even at like at the start of you know being like a child is you know oh you don't have enough money for food fucking sucks
Yeah.
you and
You better get used to know where dumpsters are.
it's essentially like a learn your place type
Oh,
of
yeah.
thing and it's sad it's
Yeah,
so
respect
sad
the crown.
Yeah.
It is sad. No, it's for real though. I see it. Like everybody I grew up with was on welfare. We were on it for quite a bit of time. Like it sucked. I mean, there's not enough to go around. You know what I mean? And I don't know. But how do you fix that? So say I come up with an answer, right?
It's a
and I'm like,
huge fucking
here you
problem,
go.
yeah.
Right. I give you an answer. This is going to take care of it. Well, that answer is going to cause a butterfly effect that may make the system worse. It'll fix that one problem. Ooh, we got the one problem fixed, but now we got 20 others that this problem caused.
Well, then if that happens,
I
then
don't
we
know,
should
I
just
think-
string you up,
Yeah.
and then we're fine.
Fucking asshole.
I think where we could start is police don't deserve to have riot gear.
Right?
I like
If,
that.
if we didn't fund that and fund for them to have like all of these things, like why not take that money and put it in schools?
Yeah.
Don't
Well,
fund the prisons
especially-
as much.
But then what happens if the cops actually need it?
yeah.
They
And then they
shouldn't.
don't have it.
They called the National Guard.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Like if it's above a police's pay grade, give it to the National Guard who were trained for that stuff. You know,
Yeah.
just talking to the guy who lives across from me who's a National Guard was like, you know, you could have a gun in my face and I cannot do anything until you shoot.
Wow.
And it's like, you know,
Damn.
he's like, you know, I can take the gun out of your hand and fight you, but I cannot shoot. I am
Yeah.
not allowed to pull my weapon. He's like, you know, but we're held accountable.
Yeah.
Right.
And so if it's almost like a tier system. Like if I'm at work, and granted, my job sucks, but like,
Cut it out. Beep.
but like most like tech places, they have like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So like, you know, if Billy Joe right here who writes parking tickets, you know, and you're telling him like, hey, you can get in the action. Here's some riot gear. Like he's all like he's ready. He's not trained for it. He's not used to it.
Yeah.
You know.
He's like, I can write a ticket. I've got my notebook, but I can't.
Yeah, like police
I
can be
can't
down
handle
there
this.
to make sure that, you know, to stop looting and stuff like that. But like, you know, if things do get out of hand and people are burning buildings down and stuff like that, then yeah, bring in the National Guard. That's tier 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. I like that.
Definitely.
What about training them properly, though?
Well, they need to be trained properly regardless for
Right.
how to deal with confrontation.
Right.
But they do not need to be in riot gear. That is, I think that's too much power for people who are paid too little, and obviously can be too smart to join. Like,
Yeah.
You know, they
Well, I mean,
put
in
out
general, I agree. But like, what if, like, just hypothetically, since America's a gun-toting country, you got like a group full of cops, and it's like we need them to succeed in this, but then it's just like a mob full of dudes with like AKs, and the cops aren't ready, and then they're overrun.
right.
Then what?
Bring in the National Guard.
well, yeah, the national.
But
there's
it's like in
National
an
Guards
emergency
Yeah, I'm
situation.
saying, like, time
if
is
it
of the
just
essence.
happens, like,
Yeah.
not everything's
So
planned
like,
out.
take out of the equation that like cops are corrupt. Let's say ideally,
All right. Well, what's riot
They're
gear going to
cool.
do for them?
well, they're gonna
It-
get less killed.
Yeah, I was gonna say at least give them a chance to not fucking die.
Because if you got
But they're
dudes
not.
just spraying and
riot
praying,
gear,
then
well, riot gear involves a big plastic shield.
right.
You're going to get shot through it. It comes with a plastic mask. Will get shot through,
Yeah.
and a stick, and like
So
some
like
guns.
it's not even fancy shit.
I mean, it hurts to get hit in the face with it.
Well, I mean, okay, so it's pretty much just for like hand-to-hand shit. It's like melee style.
Yeah,
So
but
if somebody actually brought some solid weaponry to something like
They'd be
this,
screwed,
they could fight
probably.
back.
Yeah.
yeah, and like and if you want to have that, if it's like an emergency situation, even though the National Guard is literally placed everywhere,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
in the flee of the moment, yeah, they do have guns on stock, and I do think that they need to be trained better. But at the same time, like I feel like that they should handle what they can while the National Guard comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In an emergency situation, if they have to do something.
Yeah.
At least back off. Let them loot. Let them riot. Let them do that until the National Guard gets here. Like,
I say
guys.
pull back is always an option. You
Yeah,
can
man.
always pull back.
But you see where they're getting mad. Like back when they were like Black Lives Matter, and then people were like All Lives Matter, and they were like that's a protest to our protest.
Yeah.
And now the cops are like kneeling with some of the protesters, and they're posting it and all that. And people are mad at that because they're like, you don't get to join this protest because this protest is against you.
I want to keep myself separated from you.
Yeah,
Because that's
but-
going to help fix the
I
fucking
know.
problem.
I thought that because like if they want to kneel, it's like okay, cool. There's somebody from the other side
yeah.
being cool.
They fucking
common
respect
ground.
and they
you.
want to
Yes.
like rage against that.
Yeah.
I can
mean,
see it
I
like
can
on a
see it, though.
child level, but
Yeah, but
intellectually,
as
it's like
an
come
adult,
on.
can
Yeah.
we
If
move
you're fighting the
fuck past it?
French and then they want to take your side, it's like no, this war's still going.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot behind it. They were putting out videos too of like guys getting pulled up on by cops and then like having their hands in their pocket and they were like, hey, let me see your ID. And then the guy brings his hand out of his pocket, immediately starts opening up on the cop, and like, what a situation
Yeah.
that is. Like, I don't understand that, right? I've never been in that situation. Like, I don't understand the fear that comes with being a cop. I'm sure that it's like a high level of fear.
Yeah.
If you can't deal with that high level of fear and keep a calm head,
Right.
you shouldn't be in the game.
Exactly. Adrenaline junkie.
Yeah.
That's why they make good cops.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes that's also why they make bad cops.
I would say we had a prison guard that was he used steroids, and I mean he would take all of his stuff off.
he
and
just ate a
fight
lot.
you. Yeah, I'm sure, dude. And the entire time, like he would always come in and fight inmates.
Mm-hmm.
Like he loved forcibly removing inmates. Loved it. That was his shit.
It's insane.
It's like
But
those
they didn't
assholes that
test
go
them.
out to bars to get in fights.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Walking
Oh, but now I
big
got
so
a
they can bump
badge.
you.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
don't know.
nuts.
I don't think there's one answer, but there's a place to start, and I think they should. I don't think they should stop at charge the cops.
Right.
And, oh, we're good now. I think it should go far beyond that.
Yeah,
And
we
you should
need to
change this.
fucking
And
lessen
dude,
how
they're-
frequently this
They're in
happens.
such a good position. Like there's other countries joining in. Like, dude, you know what kind of? I don't even think Martin Luther King was in this good of a
this
position
shit,
to do this.
It's nationwide and it's in other countries.
You know why? Because there's Facebook and Instagram and all
Well,
that. We can
people
all
are
join
oppressed
together.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's not like everyone's
Except in New
protesting
Zealand.
for us. People are protesting for themselves because they're unjustly whatever all the time.
Yeah.
People are all over the world.
But I feel like, though, like, if you feel oppressed right now and you're white, probably shut your fucking mouth until this one's over. Let this one pass and then get all your white friends together and then
no
protest.
shit.
But
But
they
you
were,
have people like getting confused about what white privilege is and what financial privilege is.
Yeah.
Right.
Like they're like, oh well, I'm oppressed. Like I grew up with nothing. And
I'm
it's
not
like,
a banker.
It's like, well, you'll probably get less fought on a loan because you're white.
right.
Like you can put on a suit and be fancy and probably be treated with more respect than a black man in a suit.
Absolutely.
That's white privilege.
Yeah.
Like
Probably wearing a purple suit with a leopard print tie doesn't help anything.
But not
I
all
wonder-
black people dress like that.
Everybody.
I wondered that too, like seeing like what finally got me to go to prison after 11 times them taking me, giving me sentence, let me go. And like they finally giving me that 10-year sentence. What would have happened if the same situation, same exact crime, same area, but black? It makes you wonder, like, if you could only play that out, which you can't because we don't live in a world where you can play that out. But I'm sure that you're right. I'm sure that, because I've always looked at it like, yo, they gave me a 10-year sentence. Like, they didn't hold me. Like,
Right.
they held me accountable and I got treated like shit. I've been, tased, peppered. I've been all that shit. But I gave them a reason to.
Which is your least
Right.
favorite?
And it wasn't because of my skin. Tased. Tased
Yeah.
sucks.
I will say I've always wanted to be tased.
Oh, I can do
We
it for
can
you.
arrange
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
let's make that
Really?
happen.
Yeah, I'll tase you.
Okay. I mean, yeah, like
Today's a good day.
You might shit yourself, but
well, I don't have to shit, so
Let's wait until 20
You-
minutes after
you
the
will soon.
podcast, and then you can decide.
Yeah.
But
I
I'm
don't know.
excited, but I don't want you to regret it.
pepper spray, like directly in the face, lasts a whole lot longer than one little
Being
shock.
tased.
Not one little shock, but. And now that I'm an electrician and I get shocked every single week, it's like, I could probably run a couple more miles after you tase me.
I'm immune to it
Yes.
now.
No, but I feel for, I really do. Even the looters and stuff, at first I was like mad and angry. I'm like, come on, guy. Like, you have an opportunity, like, to do it.
It does
but
suck though
I'm okay with it.
to fuck up people's property who
Right.
haven't done
They didn't
anything.
even do-
I don't care. I'm all for the fight, but if you run in my house and fuck my shit up, I'm shooting you in the fucking face.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's
Luckily,
the
we're
guy,
only
the guy
going-
in
Because
Florida.
I haven't done anything to you.
It was like a cop leader or some shit. He's all like, Florida, get your guns ready. If somebody comes in your house,
Yeah.
shoot them.
Yeah,
and
no
I
shit.
agree.
and I think
Absolutely.
that people who if you invade somebody's house, like you have
They have
that
the
right to
right.
shoot.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing with
Like,
like Brianna's boyfriend.
Yeah.
He had the
Hell
right
yeah.
to shoot
Hell
at you.
yes.
And I don't really agree with destroying small businesses,
Yeah.
but Target will get over it.
Well, and you look
Yeah,
at that,
fuck the
like,
corporation.
Yeah, Target can suck my dick.
if somebody come in, say we had a shop, like right now we don't. If somebody came in, wrecked our shit, guess what? I have an insurance policy that will take care of all that stuff because we document everything and the insurance company will take care of it. Not saying they should, not saying that it's okay. I want them to leave small businesses alone, but bigger businesses, like, they're a part of that system. You know what I
Right.
mean? I guess. So if you're going to loot anything, loot Target, Walmart, like,
Yeah.
but
I mean,
I'm fine with that. I encourage it.
I've
Go out and loot
stolen plenty
Walmart.
of stuff
Yeah.
from Walmart, mainly food for people, but you
Yeah.
know, they don't care.
Get you them socks you've been looking at.
And the thing is that what ticks me off is like you see Walmarts, they're closing down because they started to close at 5 and 7. They're like
Yeah.
putting wood
Totally.
boards up,
Yeah.
and it's like you are so concerned about your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yet you didn't give a shit about your employees when the coronavirus was like a big ass thing.
Nope.
Mm-hmm.
You were
Yeah.
like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
Everybody needs lettuce. Back to work.
They were showing the videos of the protest, and I forgot what the hashtag was, but reopen. Hashtag reopen or whatever, that protest, so that they reopen everything, whatever. And it was a bunch of white people like, open up the massage therapy place and open up my nail salon so I
Why
can go get
can't
my
I
nails
go
done.
to my church?
But,
I need a haircut.
but they
I
were
know.
like,
The Bible, you cunt.
they didn't shoot one concussion grenade or pepper spray anybody, and they
Nothing.
were spitting in their face and
Yeah.
yelling at them, and they didn't do anything. So what makes it okay to like do that now?
Because it's people who are being oppressed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally rising up.
Finally. And they're like, we
What do you
cannot
mean I
have
can't
that.
hate him and abuse him anymore?
Another
Fuck
person
this.
that should completely be at first I was like, cool, let Trump be president. Now I'm like, that dude's a fucking
Can
idiot.
we kill him and be
Obviously.
done with
This
it?
asshole out
And
of
a
office.
pedophile.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
string him up.
Yeah, please.
well, like,
Hypothetically.
Think of it. The people who protest Andy Brashear, like, they hung up.
Yeah.
They literally went to a tree and hung. They were, the same place where his family is, where his kids are.
Yeah.
And not a single thing happened. Like, there was I don't know the guy's name because I don't really give a shit about him. But like he went past the line that he wasn't allowed to cross and like was on his front porch and stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
shoot,
what's-
shoot him.
Shoot him.
What's,
With
yeah.
pepper bullets, of course. But like,
Right,
Oh,
but
I
you're
was-
not fucking doing anything.
Unload
is
on
the
his
problem.
calves.
Yeah.
But on that show, though, and I know
Shoot 'em
it's
off.
like they have cameras rolling all the time, so of course they're on their best behavior. But
Right.
there's a lot of instances where I'm like, that person should have been shot,
Yeah.
for sure. Like pointing like something that was black,
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case is, that they should have been shot. I don't know. Who knows? Like, who knows?
Right.
It shows that
You
it's
know what
all
I
a
mean?
case by case basis,
It is.
and that all cops aren't one.
I don't think all cops are one for sure.
Well,
And
I don't
I
know.
think
You
there
said
are a
it, I
lot of
heard.
good ones.
We were watching a thing. I assume we watched it together. I watch so much like true crime shit. I don't know if we watched it together or I watched it by myself. But it was a dude. He was standing on his own like stoop. We did watch it together.
Yeah,
He was standing on his own stoop at night.
Dupe kid.
His stoop kid's afraid to leave his stoop.
41 shots for looking
Yeah.
suspicious.
He looked out, and these, I think they were in plain clothes. These 4 cops came and fucking unloaded on him.
41
He didn't
bullets,
even
dude.
do anything. He didn't have his keys in his hands. Like, he was getting ready to walk in, and they fucking shot 41 bullets and hit him 17 times because he was on his own stoop and looked out.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's
How is
fucked
that
up.
acceptable? He wasn't.
Oh, and they weren't charged, by the way.
Nope. Nuh-uh. They were found not fucking guilty.
I
Yeah.
think
All 4 of them.
Was it because of a lack of evidence or what?
Oh no, there was a lot of evidence.
It's because
Was he
it
black?
was.
Yeah, he was black.
He was.
He was an immigrant
I
as
was gonna say,
well.
where the hell did he come from? Because he was so jacked to come here. He was
Here,
going
I'll
to go
give
to
you.
school and all this shit. And it was New York in the 90s. Not that it's much better now, but New York in the 90s. And
Less strip clubs.
yeah.
There's one that really messed me up when I heard about it. It was a few years ago. A little black boy got shot in a park because he had a toy like squirt gun,
Yeah.
and I don't.
Whoa.
I think he was like 6, 7.
I mean, even if it was real, you're going to shoot him? He's 6.
He died, and I don't think that the officers there were charged. And they sat and talked to him for a little bit and then like shot him.
Oh.
There's like a video of it. It's
what
awful.
the fuck?
That
Can we
guy's
please
name
go
was,
in these people's houses and shoot them?
That guy's name was Amadou
And
Oh,
dump their
his
milk
name
in
was
their
Am-
beer.
Amadou.
Diallo.
I'm gonna do whatever I want.
But yeah, man,
Amadou.
he had no criminal record, no
Nothing. He
Nothing.
was a sweet guy. You could tell. I mean, you can't tell by looking, but you could tell
You can
looking
get
in
an
his
idea.
eyes. He was a sweet guy. He never did a fucking thing to anybody.
And it just says West African immigrants.
Okay.
But that was a screwed up story, and it makes you what you know what I mean. That
Yeah.
I don't know, but there's no. I don't think
Fucking
there's one answer
infuriates
for
me.
sure. But it's cool though that
Tamar Rice. That's what his name was.
Damn.
Oh, he was 12. Sorry.
Well, I mean,
Not that it makes it
still,
any better.
Yeah. Oh, okay then. Kill the motherfucker.
And then there's a lot of
Just-
like white people that are mad that other white people are joining in on like the protests for black people. But
I say let's go ahead and sterilize those people.
yeah. And they're like coming out and like making videos about it, and like everybody has a fucking opinion, and it's like shut that. Like they realize it, and they're trying to help the situation. Quit being a cocksucker.
Well, people
Like,
are trying to make it about themselves. Like now,
yeah.
because they've got that platform where my opinion fucking matters, so I'm gonna go and type it on Facebook. Like, this is not about you. It's so much more than that, and it's just, oh well, look, I can get some fucking likes and some.
Well, like
whatever.
there was oh my God, yesterday. There was we were at the protest and everybody was knelt down. And you could hear people, they were saying George Floyd's last words. So like, mama, help me, I can't breathe, please, please. And you could hear it, like there was like hundreds of people and you just hear it throughout the crowd. And this fucking bitch and her fucking friends in front of me just kept talking.
Yeah.
Like super loud. And she's like, yeah, and like taking selfies in front of like, the crowd. And I'm like, she just like kept talking like normal. And like everybody's quiet. And you like, it's just, it's a respect thing.
Exactly.
And I go, hey, guys.
No shit.
And they're like, oh yeah. And proceed to be quiet for about 15 seconds.
As long as they possibly could.
And then she's like, it continues going on. You have another dude like shoving Cheez-Its in his mouth, and he's fucking animal. Yeah, so what you guys want to do after this?
Jesus
and
Christ.
it just, I don't know.
A lot of those people just want to be down there in it to say like I'm on your side.
It's like they're at a outdoor festival, or you're at a concert. Like they're just like, no, I'm like doing stuff.
I'm a part of something.
Like you're at the fucking mall. Like, bitch, if you want to sit around and talk, then go to the fucking mall and talk.
They wanted brownie points.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Or a pat on the back, and it's sick. It's so annoying. And then there were people talking, having the mic. Not yesterday, but it was Tuesday. And you just have all these like white people going up there, and they just kept saying like they're sorry and blah blah blah, and they're sorry for their privilege, and it's like that's great.
Yeah. Again, you're making it about yourself.
Yeah, let me suck your dick.
Hey,
you're apologizing.
We brought this up one time, and I know now's not the time, but I asked a question. I was like, would it be like, what if every white person in the world just was like, yo, we're sorry. How can we fix this problem with you, right? If we said sorry for the entire situation and then proceeded to help in whatever way we could, right? Would that be acceptable? You know what I mean?
Like, oh yeah, and that's what they want. They don't want it. Granted, obviously, an apology is super nice, but it gets old.
Yeah.
And so they're like, they want you to be like, what can I do to help?
Exactly.
What can I do?
Yeah, people want you to help. That's the whole thing, is please be on our side and just be a part of this. No matter what it is, people want assistance.
Yeah.
If you ask, how can I help this situation?
Yeah, if you see injustice, speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't sit at the house and like...
Well, think about it.
Say something.
Well, think about it. All right, so like George Floyd, right? He's getting kneeled on by an officer. Let's say that me, a white chick, went and tackled him off of him.
Hell yes.
To save him. I wouldn't have been shot.
No,
probably not.
I wouldn't have,
Probably not.
I probably would have gotten detained. But,
Maybe get your nose broken.
Maybe not.
I don't think so.
That.
You know that the person
That
who
guy
took
seemed like an asshole.
the person who took the video was speaking up and talking about how they felt really, really bad about taking the video and not helping, like not knocking the cop off of his neck and stuff like that. Given, yes, I agree. I don't think it's like the people who filmed that girl getting raped.
Yeah.
And then they put it out and then they took care of it. Well, you could have stopped the rape while you were filming it. But
you could have just not fucking filmed it.
But
wait, did the cops
look
rape?
what,
I mean, at the
look
same
what
time,
it
it's
happened.
good
Yeah,
that it's been filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, look what it brought. Like, yes, this guy died, right? But look what it's bringing, right? So he probably couldn't have done something that was this great on his own.
Because, I mean, it's not like if you're filming it, like there are, 4 cops on a dude and you're a chick filming something. It's like she's not going to swell up and crush 4 of them.
Yeah.
So filming it in and of itself is enough.
Right.
Now, if there were 20 people around, they could just take them down. And they're like, nah, no, just let's all film.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
Then that's
think
an asshole thing, but
I don't think they should feel bad one bit, like
if she
because it
hadn't
had to
filmed
be
it, it wouldn't
reported.
be-
Well, I think just people
Exactly.
have this fear. They have this fear. I'm gonna get shot. I'm
Absolutely.
Gonna die.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hell
But
yeah.
white people need to realize that you're less likely to get shot. Now you still might.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's still that chance.
If you,
But you're less likely.
everybody wants to change the world, but no one wants to die.
but
Seriously.
that's what
My
I was
Chemical
saying.
Romance line.
A lot of people want to rise up for whatever cause wants to rise up, but they're too afraid to because, but look how strong arm you. Like, you know what I mean? They're gonna shut you up, and that's what I fear. And I hope that the protest grows big enough to where they can't shut it up.
Right.
They can't silence it. They can't report it and give you, you know what I mean? Like sway your opinion by the news or anything. That's the good thing about social media is you get to see it raw.
Yeah.
You don't get to see what they want you to get from it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I think it's, I don't know. I can't wait to see what comes from
Then
it.
you'll
I hope
still
it
have-
continues.
it's crazy to think that the protest started Thursday and the amount of people, because I didn't get there till Friday. The amount of people that were there Friday, the amount of people there that was there Sunday, the amount of people that was there Monday is not nearly as many as there were on Thursday.
Yeah.
Like yesterday. There
Yeah.
was hundreds.
Yeah.
And it's I feel like the movement's just getting bigger and
Good.
bigger, and the louder, and the
Good.
there we started marching down from downtown to the Highlands, and like there was just hundreds of people. There were people in cars following, honking,
Hell yeah.
and it's just, it was really uniting, and like the cops stayed back, and it's like. Obviously it's because they got caught with their cans, and I'm sure that they're getting beaten down to being like, you guys need to back the fuck off. Just let them do their thing, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I feel like I just feel really good about it. It's crazy how big
Hell
it's
yeah.
grown.
Well, especially I would assume that like over time at this point, like it would start to like trickle off, but it's doing the exact opposite, which is fucking wonderful. It's
Omen was
great.
surprised whenever they were protesting, like on a Monday.
Yeah. He's.
Maybe it was Omen. It might have been Matastic. I don't remember.
It
They're all
was
the
Omen.
same person.
It was Omen.
Yeah, that's those people that y'all were talking about Walmart closing down. That Walmart we went to down in Fern Creek is where that one guy got shot. I don't know the specifics in that whole story, but
It ended up, the cops told him, they got him out of the car, and he said, I want to get something out of my car, and he went to get back in, and he was rummaging around, and they said, get the fuck out, because he was trying to find a gun. He got a gun, and they managed to get it away from him, but he got shot, and I think 2 or 3 officers got shot. Everyone lived.
But like they're not offering up it. They're just like, we're closing at 5, and then you've seen everybody get mad. Well, of course they're gonna come out here and protest, you stupid
Yeah.
fuck. Like
People are
it was
so
right across
scared.
the street.
Yeah.
But they were like, we're boarding it up, and you gotta close at 5, and they were trying to push people out of Walmart. It was like 4:30.
But it's like people can't get through wood. You're like,
Oh,
we gotta
yeah.
board up the windows.
I know.
It's like
There
way
was a-
thick.
There was
can't
one-
get in it now.
There was one
It's impenetrable.
jewelry shop over there, Shane Company,
Shane Company.
on the corner of Taylorsville Road and Shelbyville,
Hurstbourne Lane,
Yeah.
Taylorsville Road.
There it
you go.
is.
And it was the only thing around that was boarded up. Like there's no protesters near it. They were just like, just in case.
Break into the Barnes and Noble. Let's
Yeah.
get them
Diamonds
books.
are fucking worthless.
I know. I swear to God, we laugh so much at that.
That
Like
right-
they're so concerned about their shit. Like, really, do you not have your stuff insured? For real?
There's a rapper
Because
though that was
you're
trying
stupid.
to find the people that looted the icebox where
Yeah.
all those rappers get all the jewelry, and he was trying to buy it from them. He was like, "Just holler at me, like DM me, I'll buy it all from you." I was like, "That's beautiful."
Oh shit!
Come decked out and everything.
Hell yeah!
Grills and fucking.
But I also think that this came at a great time, since with the coronavirus, people
Yeah,
are,
man.
on unemployment, and
Yep.
that
They
they,
got
they
the
have time
time.
to go.
Yeah,
They got the time to fuck your shit up.
Plus,
Better
with
listen up.
like domestic abuse on the rise from the corona shit, now they can just take it out on the cops.
There you go.
that's
I
right.
think it's cool.
No, and that's I want to see like what happens to a community like this out here. There's a lot of people that use the N word. There's a lot of rednecks. There's a lot of, you know what I
Nigeria.
mean, like rebel flags and hating on black people. And they moved out here for that reason. And it's like, I wonder, like, if they migrate out here, I can't wait to see how tense things get. You know what I mean? Like, they're coming around like black people, and they get all like, oh God.
I swear on that thing on Nextdoor, I was reading because they were posting about them coming out to Fern Creek, and they were like, "Be safe," and like freaking out about it and shit. And I know I made a comment on it. I don't usually. I just look at it, but I did. I was like, "Y'all are fucking stupid." But that's all I could think was. Of course, no one out here is like participate because everyone out here is not everyone, but
Not
it's-
everyone. There's a big
They're
majority
fucking
of
all
them.
Enough of
racist.
They're all racist.
Ah.
I mean, I went to school out here at Spencer County. There was only one black family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not a. I've seen a couple black people. I don't even know if they live out here though. And so everyone out here is fucking racist. So now they're all scared because there's protesters coming. Like,
I can't wait.
they're
I
not
hope they
coming
come out
for
here. I
you.
swear, I hope they do.
I know.
I just can't wait to see a bunch of white people get tense because it's funny. Like, we have friends that openly use that word and they're openly racist, and it's like, well, not anymore.
They're not our friends anymore.
Yeah, as we say, we don't really talk to them anymore because there's a lot of hate. But anyways, when you're at a bar and a black person comes around, right? It's funny how their demeanor changes, how they treat them, and all that. It's like, well, where's the racism now, bro? He's right here. Like, set his face.
They're like, hey, bub, let me get you a
Hey,
drink.
man, you want me to buy you a drink? And
Would
it's
you like
quit.
some Henny?
Yeah.
What the
Well,
fuck
yeah,
are you
because
talking
it's
about?
something for like clout.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh yeah, I'm friends with the black guy.
Yeah. But I also hate him.
Well, like my mom is one of those people that says the N word, and she's like, oh well, there's a difference between an N word and a black person, and it's like, shut up.
Don't you love that? My grandma used to say it. My grandma was extremely racist and didn't want us to date black girls. But we went to like a mostly black school, and she hated it.
She
hated
bust in a bunch of white people for you to date, you know, because she cared.
it. She cared. She was a good grandma. No, man, and it's so funny though. To what, like, my dad, when he says the N word, which he doesn't do it often, but when he does, he says that there's a difference between black people and N word. And then, but when he says it in the car, like, he'll whisper it, and I'm like,
Like, there's one in the car and you don't want him to hear.
yeah, like what? Like, okay, act as if that person was in front of you. What would you say to whoever you have hate against? What would you say if they were right in front of you, right? That's like when I was in prison and working at that electrical company I worked for, right? A lot of people would do that girl shit where they're, no offense, but where they
Look, he
they
looked at
gossip.
you, but not me.
Not her. But
I'm
look,
not a lady.
they do a lot of that, like talking behind your back, and then when they see them in person, they want to shake their hand and fucking, like, you know, they want to gossip and do this like bitch shit. Not saying girls are bitch. I'm just okay, but you know what I mean.
Himself in deeper
I know.
and
I feel like
deeper.
the foot's just getting further back in my
No,
throat.
I get what you're saying.
But yeah, you got to act as if that person was in front of you, because like in prison, you can't run from that person, right? So if you say it, that person that you're talking to is going to tell that person, because they're like, you just don't have that when you're in a cell with like 50 dudes.
Yeah.
Like, you can't talk shit about somebody without them hearing it.
Oh, I don't know. Everybody kind of likes me for my honesty. So.
Yeah.
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 Well, I feel that's what
I'm very obvious if I don't like you.
yeah.
You say I'm a very whoa, what just happened? I just had an
Wow.
Ian. I'm a very honest and upfront person too, but people just think I'm a bitch.
But I just
They're
feel like if
observant.
you're gonna say it,
It
say it
is.
as if they were right there in front of you. Like if you're not gonna say it to them, like shut the fuck up and
Yeah.
go home.
It's like if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say
It's
anything
one thing
at
to be
all.
hateful, but don't be a chicken shit about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Are the people there like, I love black people? Out of their way to fucking like to show you they're not racist.
Bill Burr's got that bit where he's talking about going on AOL and like chat rooms and talking shit, just saying some horrible shit to get them riled up and then like dipping out. And he said it was something. They were talking about racism, and this girl, she said, I'm a white girl and I only fuck black guys because I can't stand white guys and their racism and bigotry.
They got on, who is it?
I'm
One
white,
of
so it's okay.
Kylie Jenner or whoever it was trying to sell AirPods during the
Oh, God.
protests, and they were like, "Oh, you benefit from black people. You can't stand up with us." She over trying to sell fake AirPods.
What the fuck?
They got
People
all
are
over
so
her.
stupid.
Oh shit!
My mom's one of those people that like says some shit and she's like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of the reasons why we stopped talk, like, because I cut her out here recently.
It's awesome.
Yeah,
And,
fuck that bitch.
I don't know if you saw the screenshots of it. Yeah.
I did.
So she goes, go look at my story on Facebook. And
Oh,
so I
God.
check it out, and it literally says, how to stop the rioters, hook a hose up to a septic tank and spray them down, which is incredibly racist because black people
Yeah.
got sprayed with hoses
Yeah.
in the street.
Terrible.
Like, so I go,
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was just a poop thing.
but I was like, why?
like,
Knowing
back
I
in the
wouldn't
day.
agree with that stupid shit. Why? To fight? You want to start an argument it with me? And she's like, no, don't worry about it. And I was like, well, no,
What?
you brought it up. You brought it to my attention, so let's not back down now. I was like, the fuck did you think was going to be my reply?
Oh,
and she's like,
ha.
and she's like, oh, what the fuck do you think my reply is going to be when you really want to start this with me? And it's like, you started it.
Oh, yeah, it's your
She
fault.
wanted you
I'm
to
gonna
read
get
it.
you an ass whooping for Christmas.
Yeah. She's like, well, I'm ashamed of you and what you're doing.
What?
Yeah, I
No
think
way.
you're making yourself look
Wow.
more of a cartoon than you already look like. And I was like,
Wow. Okay.
she's like, I thought I was going to share something good, which I don't understand how the fuck that's good. And she's
How's-
like, I'll tell you what, stay away from me, Shelby. Just stay away. And I was like,
Okay.
all
My
right.
pleasure.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yo, that's rough, man.
What
Like, that's
the
rough.
fuck?
If you're Shelby's mom and you're listening, give us a call.
Yo, that's extremely.
We don't broadcast live, so she can't call.
That's extremely good though, because there's a lot of people that it's like an endless circle of like, oh, my dad said the N word, so I hate black people too,
Right.
and then he raises his kid to hate, and that it just
Yeah.
continues and continues. It takes a lot to break away from things you don't agree with. Like, I don't listen to them. Like, you know what I mean? I don't like hang out like. I'm gonna say it around them, but not around nobody else. Like, I don't agree with it at all, but I think it's hard to cut away from your people, like your family. It's
Well-
hard to do that for some people.
My mom's always been kind of a bitch. She's very narcissistic, and she's sexist, I guess is the best way to put it. She calls men toys, and she cheats on them
Wow.
and stuff like that. And I just
That's just acting like a dude.
I just always thought it was disgusting and wrong, and I just was always telling myself I don't want to be like her, and I don't want to be like my stepmom, so
Yeah.
went my own way.
That's,
Hell
that's
yeah.
a good way to go, though.
Yeah, for
Hell
sure.
yeah! Like, you learn something, but not what they were trying to teach you. You learn what not to do from them.
Yeah, this is fucked up. I don't like this.
I don't know, man. Yeah, but it's a good thing.
Wait, what's
I
a
think-
good thing?
The protests and stuff.
Oh,
I just
okay.
think that
Yeah.
this is a great movement, great town.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
I don't hate them for nothing. I think you should riot. I think you should. Even the protesters should join in on the rioting. If they're gonna shoot you.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, seriously, but I guess if you do that, like, that's
like a live
they
action-
think I'm a convict, so I'm gonna act like a convict. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Did you,
like that kind of
Did
thinking.
you guys see the video in Boston where the cops like vandalized their own car?
What?
What?
Yeah, so they could blame it on the protesters.
So I didn't it was flagged as partially false,
Yeah.
but I didn't click on the link and read about
So
it.
it's partially true.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what's true?
That's what
No.
I.
What
that's
is
what
fuck 12 or whatever? Like
Yeah,
what is
fuck
that
12.
about?
12 represents the police. Let me look it up because I don't fully understand it either.
Okay. Like
The,
I've seen
uh,
it and I'm just too lazy to look it up.
That-
When people yell it at the protest, I don't because I don't understand it.
They that one security guard, like, he got it yelled in his
Security
face,
officer, if you want a guard, get a
Whatever.
dog.
and he was like, "I'm not even 12. I'm 11." Like, I don't understand what it is either. So I would like
okay.
to know. I'm good with
Yeah,
it.
that's
Sorry,
pretty
my
funny.
connection sucks. So.
Also, though, like, there was this like, did you got an answer?
It says fuck 12 basically means fuck the police, but more specifically, it means fuck the police drug unit.
Well, that's fucking stupid.
Huh? I'm
Yeah,
just joking.
that's so
I get it,
stupid.
They're saying
well,
fuck
I mean,
12
fuck them,
because
but
of the
it is stupid.
because George Floyd was being charged with a. Oh no, he wasn't being charged with a drug addict. He was being charged for
fraud.
fraud. But they
Yeah.
tried saying that he had meth on him.
Okay.
Black
Sprinkle
people
some-
don't smoke meth.
Yes, they do.
Sprinkle some meth
I ain't
on 'em.
seen it.
I have. I
Oh, okay.
was a substance abuse counselor. Everybody does everything, Ian. Let's not be retarded.
Hey, but
Let's be.
there, I think too, though, there's a lot of misinformation on social media as far as it goes. Like, how do you, that's why I don't even like the few things that I've looked up were like the names so that I knew the stories behind them and all that shit. But I don't know. I don't trust news. I don't
Anything.
trust Facebook. I don't trust, because like they're ran by a corporation that can let certain things through and certain things they take off. Like, they can do that. So how can you trust any
Any
outlet?
of it.
Snopes?
Snopes, yes.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I like them. I trust them.
They
for the most
fact check.
part.
Is it like an independent ran?
I think so. It's not
It's
like
a Rupert Murdoch thing.
but they They
That's
fact
not.
check.
I made that.
Oh,
up.
nice.
They're really good. I use them for everything.
I'm gonna download that because I told her I was like I hate looking up anything because I can't form an opinion because there's so many opinions to form it against. Like,
Well, and then everything I look up, I read for days and days and days. I read all over the fucking place because I want to okay, well, this is the truth. Like I have to read 100 things to form an opinion on a one-liner.
You really
like
gotta
I
go
just
digging.
I can't do it.
it's like buying something on the internet. There's like a million things for a million things. So if you want like a camera or whatever it is you want, there's a million people who make a certain product. Like, how do you know which one to pick? And it's too many goddamn choices. Like,
Well, and
You
then
picked the one with 500 reviews and 4 stars.
And you have to read about all the sellers as well. So not only do you have to read about the product, you got to research your seller too and read their reviews and make sure they're legitimate because they very easily could not be. It's insane.
Very easily.
I fucking hate buying shit online.
Your cat loves my shoes.
I like it. Did you say ow or was that the cat?
It was me.
Okay.
Yeah, she
Because
came
I thought,
out
man,
of
the cat's talking now.
She came out of the. She's real cool. The drum box earlier. She got in the hole and then came out. I was
she's just
like,
checking
what
it out.
the fuck's happening here?
In the hole.
In the hole.
But other than that, there's not a whole lot in the world going on.
That's true.
Nothing. There's
crazy.
nothing occurring except COVID and
I don't
racism.
even, like nobody's
COVID
even
isn't
talking
even
about
going
that.
on now.
They don't
Yeah.
care about it. They all just shut up about it. Like it's done.
I
We're not
wonder-
supposed to be around each other at all. But
I
they
wonder
don't care.
though if like a lot of the protesters are getting COVID-19.
They're trying to say that, there's 19,000 more cases in
Yeah.
the U.S. because of the protests, but COVID takes a week to 2 weeks to show.
Yeah, so how do you
And-
know?
Well, the thing is Memorial Day was right around the corner. People were at beaches.
Yeah.
yeah.
And that was 2 weeks ago.
Well, and
So
they've been lying
Don't you
about the
come around here
data.
talking sense.
There's all kinds of shit talking about all these counties and all the states. They're all lying about their data. So why would I trust
So
that
they
we
can
have that
reopen.
many more?
well,
Yeah.
I mean, someone gets in a car wreck and they get tested positive for COVID, and they're like, oh, they died of COVID.
Yep.
The COVID broke his neck.
It crawled up out of the lungs and just snapped it.
That's why I think like that you don't want to like read the news because them saying that about George Floyd, I'm like, you don't get the point. I don't think.
Makes me
I
wanna
don't
throw
think
a-
you need to be a news outlet.
Yeah,
Like,
no. It
That's
makes me
not
wanna
news to me.
Throw a burning chair through their window.
Oh, he had the flu, but that didn't block his airway with a knee. Like
No.
the
Yeah.
flu didn't come along and just fucking
This
Now
Wrong.
they
bullshit.
had ample opportunity to kill this
finally
man.
got him. Pieces of shit.
bullshit of police officers putting their knees on someone's
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
neck is absurd to me. He's ran from them before and been.
I got a knee on the head.
Yeah.
And I didn't get in it. Oh,
Well, you weren't running from the cops. You were running from people.
yeah.
but
There's
nonetheless.
like 5
Allegedly.
people. I told her it's something that I can actually what is it? Identify
attest
with,
to?
right? I got chased down by like fucking like 5 good citizens, which there was nobody around, but I got chased down by them and I was backed into a corner, right? And I went to go at them to get away from them, and like 3 or 4 of them held me down, and one big guy was on my chest and like hold me down. I couldn't breathe. I just got done running, and I was like, dude, I was like, I couldn't say anything. I was like, get the fuck off me. Luckily, the police finally got there, and the police officer put his knee in my head and then put me to the ground. But I could finally breathe, and that fucking feel it like
Yeah.
it's fucking I don't know.
It's
It hits me in a
scary.
soft spot
Thank God
because
the cops showed up to get these good Samaritans
seriously.
off.
Dude, I swear.
Well, you start freaking out
I
when you
bet-
can't breathe.
yeah, I
Like,
was begging like, dude,
and you're like,
please.
this is it. This is this. I'm
Could
gonna
you
die this way.
imagine like dying it? Fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, and that's I don't know that's an intense feeling.
Hell
dude.
yeah.
Like,
Well,
I
and
could imagine his
especially-
last moments.
Which, I mean, you should have
Damn
been
it.
running, but whatever. Nonetheless,
dude.
you were. So you're breathing very
And I-
heavily.
Well, I gave
That is
up too.
terrible.
Like I was like, you got me. Like I'm in a corner. Like after you got me down to the ground and my hands behind my back, like you got me right.
Am I gonna
You don't
jump
have to
off
be on my
the-
back.
the
Well, they've been
fourth
running,
floor?
so now their adrenaline's pumping.
They're ready to fucking go. But that cop did it right, like kneeling on my head, which it hurt, but I wasn't
Well,
going
You
nowhere.
can even kneel on someone's ass.
Yeah.
It'd be
but like
fine.
the chest and neck, dude, I
Leave
couldn't
it
imagine
alone.
his last moments.
But then if you
No.
penetrate
Fuck that.
their ass with your knee, you're gay. And nobody wants to live with that.
No one wants to be gay. He like puts his knee on your ass. No homo, man.
It's simply put, dude, if you're on your stomach in handcuffs, there's no way. Well, if somebody can, I want to see it happen because I could never do it. I couldn't get on my
Give
feet
up.
with my hands behind my back. I couldn't do it.
You could
so
only
there's
do
no
it
way
on
to.
PCP.
I
the only
guess.
way.
Yeah.
But
So
there's
just
no.
always smoke
There's
PCP
no need
just in case.
to
Stay
continue
lifted.
to kneel on them or restrain them
Yeah.
after their hands are behind their back in handcuffs. Because I'm here to tell you, you
Mm-hmm.
cannot get up from that.
Oh, well, and my
No.
God, if you really want to put a hand on them,
Yeah, that's
you
it.
can use your hand. You don't have to put your entire body weight, your 250 fucking
With your hands
pounds
in your
on
pocket.
someone.
Put them in the sharpshooter.
One of the
Seriously.
There's a
Yes.
video of like a bunch of looters like spilling out of I think a T-Mobile, and there was a cop who and it's with these protests, and he puts his knee on on this guy's neck, and like everybody's screaming like get your knee off his neck, like
this
get,
is what
get your knee.
started this shit, bitch.
And luckily, one of the officers immediately like grabs his knee and like
Yeah, you
shifts
fucking
it.
idiot.
Yeah, I'm like, are you fucking?
Jesus
Could you?
Christ.
But they're taught to do that. That's
Yeah.
what's scary
Yeah,
about
they
it.
need to stop that shit
Yeah.
because that's fucking stupid. Do you know how small your airway
Well-
is? What?
Oh, here
Well.
we fucking go,
No, Jim
dude.
Ray was a cop in Tampa, and he said they never taught that shit.
Well, good.
Oh, okay.
See?
Thank God.
Well, maybe it's just a
Judging
habit that needs to be
motherfuckers.
taken care of quickly.
Apparently, we need to send everyone to Florida for training.
Oh,
because
no.
they can't do it here.
Plus, he's just a good ass dude. So,
Yeah.
There was a cop who put a I want to say a second grader who had autism in handcuffs, and he did it from right here on the forearm.
Yeah, I saw
back.
that. That was fucked
And
up.
like,
Whoa.
you know, handcuffs are they're not very
No,
they're not
it's-
very wide. So like
No.
if doing that like that, and the kid's sobbing
Yeah.
because
no
it
shit.
hurts, and it's like
Wow.
I would demand that
And they're like,
that
this is
officer.
entirely justified to do to a kid.
Well, the thing is
Yeah.
it's illegal to put a child in
Yeah.
handcuffs. It's
Yeah.
illegal,
Oh, yeah.
and
Do they have rope for him?
They still do it.
They hit him with a
Wow.
Well, no,
lasso?
it's a child.
It's a
Okay.
kid.
You
What
gotta
do you mean?
lasso
Yeah.
something.
I'm all right with the lasso or maybe one of those big nets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing for
Hit 'em with the net.
the whole privilege argument, right? I've been pulled over 5 times since I've been out of prison, right? My rap sheet is a mile long
Yeah.
with a bunch of misdemeanors, but I also have 10 felonies, you know, to go with it, and a laundry list of charges that I beat to get up to 10 felonies, right? So when I've gotten pulled over 5 times and not once, and they have the absolute right to pull me out of my car and search everything because I'm a convicted felon, right? Not once have I ever been pulled out. And I've been in a bad neighborhood and got pulled over on the highway in a different state that I wasn't supposed to be in at the time.
Yeah.
And I've never gotten pulled out. But do you think it's because of my skin? Or the cops just, you know what I mean? Because they said George
think-
Floyd had priors. And I'm sure a lot of the times they pull up their priors and they're like, whoop, he had a gun at one point in life, so he probably has one now.
I think there's so many factors that go into everything. So, like, yes, skin unfortunately does play a role in this situation. I think the officer does. I mean, your history and how you're acting during that time.
during the
also.
exchange.
Well,
So if you're up to no good, you're probably gonna get fucked up. If you're not up to no good, I mean, not never, but
Yeah.
you know, like in your situation, you're fine.
Yeah,
You're good.
I guess.
And then you get those asshole cops who just want to shoot people because they're like fucking trigger happy.
They were out of orange juice at McDonald's. I'm gonna shoot somebody.
Fuck yeah!
That's something too, though, that
That does piss me off.
That I realized watching
It's
that show is that, like, ever since I got out of prison, like back in the day, I've been pulled over more times than I care to fucking imagine, and like I always thought they were singling me out. Like, I'm not a bad driver. I was clearly doing stuff wrong, and I always got charged with drug
They
paraphernalia.
didn't know
and-
that.
Yeah. But I always felt like, yo, they're that. Well, the minute I stopped doing dumb shit and completely, I'd stop getting pulled over for dumb shit.
a
I
law of
stopped getting
attraction,
charged
man.
with dumb shit. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, I don't know the whole history behind the people that they're protesting against. But it can't be bad enough to kill them. Like,
No,
you know?
absolutely not.
My first run-in with seeing, I guess, because obviously my family's racist, but like
Obviously.
seeing like cops, how they treated like my black friends when I was in high school, is I was trying to learn how to parallel park. I did not know how. My mom is awful and just was constantly angry, so didn't want to ask her. And so we met in a big ass parking lot that was lit up, and my 3 black friends had bikes, and they proceeded to mark where I needed to park in.
That's a great idea.
And so I was practicing, my best, and they were also like, being like, all right, back up here, you need to cock your wheel, blah blah blah. And we had 2 police come down, and the guys immediately starts questioning and like getting information from my friends, and I hurry up, quickly park, and I get out, and you see this small white girl come out, and he was like, I was like, we're just parallel parking, man, like they're just teaching me how to parallel park. And he goes, all right, cancel backup. It's just 3 kids teaching a girl how to parallel park. And it's like,
out of here. That's insane.
Yeah, that's a good visual. That sucks.
And when they left, it's dumb because I didn't understand. I was like, that seems crazy. Like,
yeah,
what
like
did
what
they
just happened?
what did they think that we were doing? And I honestly thought that he left just because I told him that we were parallel parking and not causing trouble. I thought we were all 4 going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
And now that I'm older and
Scratch that,
see
we
the
got a
world,
white
it's
girl.
like,
Right.
It's crazy
We're
that
good.
you realize that now and didn't understand that
I
then.
had no idea then.
Because we coached this inner city football team. Yeah, and just to see the social difference between that group of people and like how I grew up and stuff, it was just like, I mean, it's real. Like, you know what I mean? There's a real problem here, and not to mention. Like the dads that weren't there, the moms that weren't there, the coach had to pick up every kid and pay for all their stuff because there's something wrong here.
Yeah,
like
there's a
obviously
fucking
there's
problem.
something wrong here. And these kids are foul-mouthed, mad at the world already. And they were fucking like what, 6 and 7?
yeah.
They're mighty mites. So
I think
they
it
were
was,
small.
What, 7, 8?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were young kids, dude, and they were angry.
Yeah.
And not only that, but like I got called cracker and all this. Like they already know the difference at that age. They should know that.
Yeah, you
They
should
should
have
know that.
no clue.
Why
that
should they
there's a
be angry
difference.
already? And there's that's the problem. They shouldn't be angry right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the system needs to change, man.
Yeah,
But
Let's burn it
agree.
down.
burn it down.
Burn down the system.
I agree. Let's
you have
burn
the
it.
parents telling them, being like, all right, so don't harass a white woman, don't
Like
if you get pulled over, keep your hands on the steering wheel, roll the windows down, put your keys on the dash, like
If you forget your key to your house, like don't go in through the window. Like yeah.
yeah, man.
and these
Yeah.
are conversations that they have to have with their kids. So like when I didn't understand that, the cop came up there because they were black, that was a privilege.
Yep.
That was a privilege that I didn't have to deal with, and I guarantee that all 3 of them knew why the
Oh,
cop
yeah.
was there.
They
One time I drove off before the cops came back to tell me I could leave. They didn't chase me.
Shut up. Wow. That's crazy.
I just come from a bar.
This
can't
fucking
remember.
idiot.
Yeah.
No, man.
He's the best. Yeah, we're good.
We appreciate you coming on, Shelby. Thank you.
And thank you for talking.
Yeah,
We
man.
appreciate
Sorry.
that. No,
No,
that's
no.
honest. I swear to God, thank you.
we appreciate
Some people
it.
don't.
And we appreciate the view because we really haven't talked to it. I mean, we shared opinions on it, but that what's an opinion on it?
We didn't even get to the My Little Pony talk.
Oh man.
But they're dope. Done.
But no, man. Thank you
it
for coming
up.
on. This is Shelby Cornett
Nailed it.
on episode 62. We appreciate everybody listening. Share, like, comment, do whatever the fuck you want to
Yeah.
do because we don't care anyways. Thanks for
right.
coming on.
Scat, scat, scat.
Hit the button.
Skibbity, scat,
Blah, blah, blah. Hit it like you mean it.
Wildly Uninteresting podcast.
No, you meant it. Sorry.